to go to Flock? Come join me and see what it's all about. Hi, it's Beth and Marvin with a mixed bag of knitting, and we're going to take you on a trip through Flock to see the people, the designers, and some very unusual booths, not yarn related, and one of my very favorite yarn manufacturers. So come join us and see if you'll feel like you were at Flock yourself. Flock this morning, and we're in our second line. We got here at 9 and we're in the first line, and now we're in the second line. So you can see, look at how crazy the line is. Everybody else was excited as us to be here first thing in the morning and get in there really early. Let's go talk to the people at the front of the line. This is Stacy, and Stacy is first in line. What time did you get here, Stacy?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. So she's been waiting outside for 2 hours then before she even got in here.
Yeah.
Have you been to Flock before?
Last year.
And so what did you like about it best?
I like the variety. I like the sense of community, but definitely the variety of vendors that are in here. It seems like it's a lot of like the more popular, trendy vendors come to this festival. So
Where are you from?
I'm from the Seattle area.
Okay, so not too far.
I live a little north.
Okay, so what's your favorite yarn store in the Seattle area?
Either Spin Cycle. Second favorite, Lamb and Kid.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we haven't been to Lamb and Kid yet. We'll check that one out. This is April. She's also at the front of the line. What time did you get here this morning, April?
6:45.
6:45. She's the early bird. What do you love most about knitting?
I love the community. I think it's just fabulous, the amount of people that I've met through this. So like all these fabulous ladies I just met on Instagram through knitting, and it's just been great. We come to Flock every year, and it's like our annual get together. I'm from Canada, they're from Alaska, we have people from the East Coast, so it's just really nice to get all together at once.
At home, do you have a knitting community?
I do, I have a knitting and I'm part of a spinning guild at home.
Okay, so how often does your knitting community meet?
We meet once a month.
Okay.
I kind of live out in a rural area, so we kind of all travel together once a month and meet at somebody's house.
Here's our sweater twins, all three of us in our outfits, modeling, looking very cute. So I'm here with my favorite designers who got me all kinds of compliments today on my beautiful outfit.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. I love it. Like your whole group, we're wearing the same stuff.
It's fun. There's been 3 of us we've seen.
Yeah.
So what inspired this design for you?
I wanted to do something that looked like cables without the bulk of cables. So I came up with this it started as actually first with a sweater, and then I made a vest, and then I made a tee, and then I made a skirt. So it became like a whole family of knits.
You know what I think you need is a cardigan.
Yes, that's so beautiful. Like, yeah.
This is yours, the bottom, but the rest is somebody else's.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
what
so creative? Yeah.
about being a designer do you like the best?
The moment when you cast on something new, that's the best part. Like creating something out of nothing, like coming up with new ideas.
So you have cast on-itis also.
Yeah, always. I have to like tone myself down, not to cast on everything.
How many projects at a time?
I tried to be a monogamous knitter this spring. It didn't work. I was miserable. So usually I have like 4.
4?
4 is a good number.
Do different kinds of projects?
Yeah, different kinds of projects, and also like at different state. Some are like just beginning, some are almost finished. And then I usually like to have something small, like a scarf or like an accessory, and then balance it with bigger knits so that I can get something done quickly.
So what advice would you give a new knitter?
I always say to go for the thing that you love, like even if it's hard or if it's like beyond your skills, just go for it. Like pick your favorite color, pick your favorite yarn, pick your favorite project, because that's motivating you to actually finish it and go through with the project.
So which one of your designs, garments, you think is best for a beginner?
It's a good question. The Ballard pullover is a really good one for learning cables. I think the EPA is also good for learning lace. Like it's we're fairly simple, even though it's all over lace pattern. The lace pattern is very easy.
It was very easy to follow. I found it a great, very well written pattern. I had no problems. There was never a time that
I feel like skirts are something that could be very good for beginners because you don't have to do any kind of shaping. It's just like a tube.
And it seemed intimidating. The whole idea of a skirt for me seemed intimidating. You're right, it was not hard at all.
Yeah,
But when I
no.
started the project, the skirt part freaked me out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've done sweaters before, no big deal. But is this a pretty beginner-friendly pattern?
It is, and this is kind of like choose your own adventure, so you can play with the colors as you want, use up leftovers, and
And what's the gauge on that one?
it's a fingering weight yarn. I'd say like 23 stitches per 4 inches,
And
if
what's-
I remember correctly.
And what's the name of this pattern?
It's the Show Your Colors tee,
Okay.
and I made it for this event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Hi. So look, I found this beautiful group, and they all have the same sweater on. So you're the group leader, I hear.
Well, no, there's no leaders actually, but we're all a group of friends from Bend, Oregon. And we,
So are you ducks or beavers?
we don't know. We're not going to talk about that.
Because I just
That
met
could ruin friendships.
I just met a
here,
beaver,
you
and my
know.
son is a duck, so we had trouble, but clearly you have a mixed group,
My
huh?
family's beavers, but we all love each other anyway.
So how did the group form?
Well, our local yarn shop is Fancy Work Fibers, and we several of us work there, and then others are customers. So
Tell
we
us
do
about
a lot
what
of knit-alongs.
Tell us what
together.
you're wearing.
This is the Alpine Bloom by Caitlin Hunter, and we've all knit it recently or longer ago.
Did you
but
all use different yarns? Use the same yarn?
different yarns, different bases? Yeah.
There's one thing in common.
They're all spin cycle. Okay, I was there yesterday, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
So what are you guys hoping to get when you are here today? Is this your first time?
No, second.
Second time. You all made the trip together?
This is my first time.
Your first time. So what's your goal?
I'm just doing buying whatever Maricela tells me to buy.
Yeah. So my group formed a drinking game.
Oh.
Because they determine there's wine here, and they're going to make me drink wine every time I buy yarn because they know I have no self-control.
Uh-oh.
See, look, they're all
You know
laughing.
that's like a downhill spiral, right? More wine.
So we'll see how
more-
long I control myself. Well, it was wonderful meeting you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day at Flock.
Thank you.
I'm into Flock, first thing, and I'm following Annette because she has a mission, and I just am following along to see what everybody else wants to do. People rush the door like they were giving things away. So we'll see what kind of excitement we're going to have. As you see, there's tons of booths everywhere. I'm not going to bore you with each booth, but I just want to kind of give you a sense of what's here. Oh, look at those beautiful colors. Oh my gosh, I have to go back there. Everything is really pretty. Tell me about this and what made you do this.
So I'm Stash Dash Bags. We did that because we're angry for all the obvious reasons. So Fuck Ice loud on the outside, and on the inside there's little abstract protesters for everybody that's out doing what they can. So
Well, thank you, and we appreciate it. And I have to have one of these.
yay!
Hi. What's your name?
I'm Sharon.
Sharon. Is this your first time to Flock?
No, my second.
Your second. So what
Yeah.
did you like best last time?
You know, I love seeing what everyone's wearing and all the samples and just meeting all the knitters.
Do you have a plan for today?
Not really. So I don't need a lot of yarn.
Hi, this is Pam. Pam, have you been to Flock before?
No, this is my first time.
So what are you hoping for today?
I'm trying not to get a lot of yarn because I want to work for my stash. I just finished my first garment.
Wow, what's the name of the pattern?
It's the Summer Noose.
It's really pretty. What yarn is it?
It's the Lene by Sans Garn.
That's great for warm weather.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I live in Arizona.
I'm in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
yes,
used to
I
live
love
in
that
Fresno.
Hi, this is Ruby, and we're standing in line waiting to get in at Flock. It's 9:14, and the line's getting pretty long. So, Ruby, where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, did you come special for Flock?
Yes, I did.
Is this your first time?
No, it's my second time.
So, what did you like last time that made you want to come back?
It's a very nice atmosphere. The class selection is really good, and the marketplace is really good.
Did you take any classes?
Yes, I did. I took 2 classes last year, and I'm taking 2 classes this year.
What are you taking today?
So I'm taking a class in a tank top, and that's this morning, and then tomorrow I'm taking reversible cables.
It's one of my favorite YouTubers is here.
Hi.
Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I am Mishi Fries Knits.
And she makes beautiful things, and
Thank
I
you.
watch them all the time. And I try to test knit for her, but one of the things that I thought was really cool about you is when you didn't get a test knit, she gave you a discount code.
Oh.
So even when you didn't do anything, I thought it was really nice and sweet.
Oh, thanks.
So tell us about what you're wearing.
Oh, well, I am wearing my Ravenna sleeveless right now, and it is the button-down version, which just came out a few weeks ago. And this is in a cotton merino, which I love. It's very, very comfortable. And the pullover, basically the long sleeve version, also just came out.
I saw it. It's in my favorite. So I'm very excited. So how long are you here in Seattle?
Well, I actually only live about 45 minutes away, so I'm here for the day, but I'll be here today and tomorrow.
Do you come to Flock every year?
I do. Every year. I don't miss it.
What's your favorite part?
I think just this, honestly. I mean, it's fun to go see all the yarn and all the vendors, but I love to just meet people, hang out with my friends, especially I have a lot of friends who live far away, and a lot of people travel for this, and so it's good to just reconnect with people. And, you know, like yesterday, all of us went to Bainbridge, and that was a great time, and just reconnecting and meeting new friends.
I love that your husband will wear your knits. My husband's not interested at all.
Well, he loves my sock knits. That's about as far as it goes. The cardigan that I tried to knit for him is it's never going to be finished, so. Let's be honest.
All right, well, one day maybe.
One day.
Well, thank you. It was wonderful meeting you.
It was nice meeting you,
and I love
too.
your channel.
Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Hannah. Hannah, where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Oh, so have you been to Flock before?
I have not. This is my first time.
So what made this time be your first time?
I started knitting in October of last year,
my
so I
gosh.
just missed Flock.
Did you make
last
this?
year. I did, yes.
That's spectacular. So not even a year you've been knitting.
No.
So what do you like most about knitting so far?
Oh, how it just calms my brain. My brain goes crazy all day. I work with kids, so then at the end of the day I need to wind down, and it's the perfect activity to wind down and relax.
So what's the name of this pattern?
This is the Manhattan Top by Coco Amore Knitwear.
It's very adorable.
Thank you.
Addie.
Addie, what are you knitting?
A hat.
A hat? How long have you been knitting?
Since first grade.
Yes.
What's your favorite part?
I don't know.
Do you like making hats?
Like making things with your hands?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite color yarn?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, that green is awfully pretty. You're doing really well. You're hardly even looking. You must be a really good knitter already that you don't even hardly look. Well, good luck with your hat. Hopefully your mom will buy you some pretty yarn today, okay? All right, thank you. Hello, so most of the booths are yarn, so I didn't bore you with a bunch of yarn, but this booth was unique and different. So tell us who you are and what your booth is about.
I am Kate, and I'm with Strucket. The Strucket is a strainer and a bucket in one. We are using it for blocking today, so I've put my Ranger scarf in here, and I've added my water and my wool wash, and I'm gonna agitate it. So gentle agitation. I'm then gonna let it soak. After it's soaked, I'm gonna click it on the side. Gravity does its magic and pulls the water out of the garment. And then, this is my favorite feature, I open it up and out comes the water. So I'm saving my shoulders from holding up a big bucket. I'm also not getting the water down my sleeve all the time. And then I just take this straight to my blocking mat or my blocking towel. And then the other thing I love is that when I'm not using it, I store my blocking mats and my blocking pins and my wool wash in it. So I'm a little more organized than if I didn't have it. So this is the large size. We call this the daddy, the workhorse. Anything larger than a shawl, I would say. So shawls, your sweaters, your tees, blankets. And then we now have a mini, which is our accessory size. Socks, Sophie scarves, beanies. And then you can also dye wool, you can dye fabric in it because you can put boiling water in it. You can scour in it. It's not hard in the Strucket. You can also use this for food items. So we like to wash our berries in it. We love to do farmer's market and wash our vegetables in it afterwards.
So is this your idea?
I am not the inventor. I represent North America with the Strucket. Our inventor is Kelly, and she is Australian. So this is an Australian invented product, an Australian made product. So each of these Struckets were made in Australia, got on a boat and sailed here for 6 weeks, landed in LA, take a train from LA to Chicago, our warehouse, got on a truck to Seattle, and now they're going home with you guys.
So how much do they cost?
$59.95 for the large and $36.95 for the mini.
And do you ship?
We sure do.
And I'll put something in the notes about how you can get the shipping.
Thank
Anything
you.
else people should know about this?
It's amazing. You'll buy it once and use it over and over and over and over again. And I challenge you to find less than 10 uses that you didn't even know you could use this for. Thank you.
Hi, this is Nyla. Nyla, what's your favorite thing about being at Flock?
My favorite thing about being at Flock is I make new friends every year.
Are you a solitary knitter or a social knitter?
A little bit of both. I knit at home a lot, but I go to knit night once a month. I have craft circle also once a month, so I like to knit with my friends.
So not quite Rhinebeck, but we still have a sheep here to visit us and make sure we remember where that yarn comes from. This is a Wild Rose sheep farm, and all the yarn is natural fibers of natural sheep color. Malia, where are you from?
I'm from Kansas.
Wow, so you flew here for flock?
Yeah.
When did you get into town?
Yesterday morning.
Did you do anything yesterday?
Yes. I walked around downtown, got coffee.
No yarn stores?
No yarn stores. I wanted to wait till today.
Have you been to flock before? So what, do you have a mission?
Kind of loosely. I want to go see Sorella and Black Pearl Magic, mainly.
Hi, I'm trying to show you things that are a little different than booth after booth of yarn, and I met this wonderful artist. Tell us about yourself, please.
I'm Charlie Phillips. I live in Primeville, Oregon right now, and I was trying to knit blankets for my grandbabies, and I was having trouble managing the yarn and not keeping it, an even tension. So I saw some things on YouTube that for holding yarn, and I made a couple of them because I'm a wood turner.
So show us.
This is what I make. And I had to embellish on them because I do pyrography as well. And I had to
look at the beautiful flowers. This is not just your usual yarn accessory. This is art.
And so this one's got it on there too, but...
So when did you start making these?
Maybe a year and a half ago.
Wow.
And first I just did 2 discs together, and then I had it lined up because I was using 4 different yarns. And then I'd have a bowl for all the notions, and I would stack them into the bowl. And I thought, I could probably make a pedestal so that it would work a little better, and I could just grab it by this and carry it around. And then I started knitting, and I wanted to get into doing Fair Isle. And so I connected 2 of them together. And then somebody asked me to do a triple. And I've also done a triple that was custom made with little blue flowers and sunflowers on it.
So if somebody wanted to watch and is not here at Flock and wanted to buy one, how could they buy one?
Give me a call.
Okay, so I'll put your information in the show notes. That one's beautiful.
This one has roses.
That's beautiful. And then you have the single ones also, right?
Yes. I have one single over there with sunflowers on it.
And there's that one.
And let's go for this one. There's a single here, and each one of the pedestals inside is a little different. I try to do some sort of different design on the outside when it's just the plain ones.
So when did you start wood making?
Wood turning, it's been about 15 years ago. And
so,
before that, I was teaching wood carving all over the United States. I haven't got any wood carving on these yet, but there will be.
So was knitting something you came to second, or?
I used to crochet when I was a little kid. I taught myself to crochet. And then knitting, I've only been knitting for about a year now.
So when you started knitting, you realized there was a need for something like this, and
yes.
so you were creative and made the thing
Yes.
to fit the need. That's beautiful.
Right.
They really are gorgeous.
Yes. Each one looks a little bit different. I can't make them the same because then that wouldn't be very interesting.
Well, we'll put the information on those in the show notes because that would make a great Christmas present for someone, and they're
Yes.
gorgeous. Hi, Rita. So have you been to Flock before?
No, this is my first time.
Where are you coming from?
Central Oregon, Corvallis, Newport area.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are you a beaver or a duck?
A beaver.
Oh, my son is a duck. I don't know if we can talk anymore. What knitting mistake taught you the most?
I have probably the one that is still sitting with only 2 rows to go. It is the, is it Icarus by Miriam Felton? that I have to frog a row of 400 stitches.
Oh.
So it's been sitting in the timeout pile for more than 10 years.
So what? 10
Perhaps
years?
that one.
Oh my gosh.
Perhaps that one.
Well, you even remember what the mistake
Yeah.
was.
I have no idea what the mistake was. That's why I have to go back.
Hi, so we just did a really cool presentation about making knitwear your own. And Olga was one of the presenters. Tell us about your designs.
Hi, I'm Olga. Some people know me as Olga Jazzy Knits. My full name is Olga Boraya Kefilian, and I grew up in Eastern Europe, so a lot of my designs are highly textural. I teach a lot of three-dimensional knitwear, origami knitting. I do love designing sweaters as well, but I like to be very thoughtful so people have a great experience when they're knitting them, so I don't produce as many of them anymore, but I've been publishing patterns. This year marks 20 years, and I have several books that I've written and taught all over the world and retreats and festivals. But a lot of my designs have to deal with texture, and I like to invent a lot of my own stitches to implement them. But over the time, I also collect them, develop them, and it takes sometimes several years and months, not just months, but years to put them to use that you actually see finally turn into garments or accessories.
Well, you're going to make me a liar because I always tell my new knitters there's only 2 stitches, knit and purl. And if you're making up new stitches, that's more than that.
Like it's a combination of both. I mean, knits and purls, and whatever you can do, however you can manipulate them. You can collect stationaries, but as long as you know how they interact between each other, and what's the purpose and what's the goal they're trying to achieve, that's what you're looking out for.
And the primary lesson is learning to read your knitting.
Oh my goodness, this is what the thing I tell, whether you're a baby knitter, where you're a knitter who made many projects, your pattern will not tell you exactly where you are in the pattern. So reading your knitting is like #1 skill you want to hone in when you work creating any projects at all. So,
well, I wanted to interview Olga because one of the things that I like that she said is that she likes to follow all the knitting rules.
Indeed, even for myself, yeah.
And my new knitters know that I'm kind of a stickler for the rules, and every once in a while I'll violate the rule and have a disaster, and the other ones will say, see, if you'd listened to Beth, it wouldn't have been a problem.
There are so many things, like on some accessories you can win it. Your accessory is not always size dependent as long as it fits, and if it doesn't fit you, you may gift it over and have somebody else to wear it. But for anything that has to fit a small circumference and you spend and invest time, money, yarn in it, you want to make sure that the outcome is what you are looking forward for it to be.
Well, and some people think gauge alone is how many stitches per inch, and the texture you talked about, and after you wash it, how it looks, very important. So that's
yarn education, exactly, right. Absolutely. You have to educate yourself, not just what yarns are available in brands, but different fibers, how they're processed and how they interact, whether they're in a blend, whether they're in a pure form. It's all great knowledge because later on you always dip into that well and use it again when you are planning your next project to do. So
what's your most important advice to a beginner intermediate knitter?
Always wash and block your swatch. Not just make your swatch. I call them the 2 S's. Swatch and seam are so the 2 things that a lot of knitters do not enjoy. But if you can make a swatch, just make sure that you wash and block it, and that is the way of you becoming the magician, the wizard, to tell you how your item will look and how it will age, but also how the fibers will relax, how the yarn in relation to your stitches will look. Maybe you will not even like it after all. So you don't want to have your cropped sweater turn into a tunic and then have regrets.
Well, this was a classic example. When I first did it, the gauge didn't look anything like what matched, but once I washed and blocked it, it was a completely different gauge, and it wouldn't have fit if I had just done a dry swatch.
Sometimes it's imperative to follow those tiny little rules, not to skip those steps, and always, most importantly, have fun with it. Whether you're a beginner or intermediate knitter, it's only knitting. When I would say my mom is a seamstress, and I sew, but I'm horrible at it because I'm very slow and I'm very much want to be in control. And when you have sewing, you can make a muslin or 2 and make the fabric work. And once you cut the actual fabric, there's no way of fixing that mistake unless you remake it in something else. In knitwear, you were in total control. Something didn't work out. All you have to do is to rip it out, re-steam the yarn, start again, and there's no loss. Just your time and maybe better planning next time.
And you're learning.
Exactly. And wash and block the swatch.
Thank
so you don't
you.
have to wash and block the actual item and be disappointed.
Thank you. It was
Thank
wonderful
you.
meeting you. I appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you too, Beth. Thank you.
too. Hi, I'm with
Christine, I'm from Washington, D.C.
DC, and I wanted you to show her anchor tee because it's such a beautiful one. It came out so great. I had to assault her and ask her if we could talk to her about it because that's my favorite beginner pattern. So far, what have you enjoyed most about Flock?
This is my first time here. I'm enjoying everything. I'm taking in everything as I see it, and I just love everything that's here so far.
So have you exercised self-control or not?
I've purchased the t-shirt, and I've purchased a sewing pattern.
So you've been good.
Yes, so far. I've only gone down 2 or 3 rows.
Hi. So I know I said I was going to show you yarn booths, but this one I had to because I bought some of this yarn when I was at Rhinebeck and I loved it, so I had to come back. So this is the Dyers. Say hello.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And how did you start doing this kind of work?
I started doing it because I was working in a yarn shop, and I really wanted non-superwash hand-dyed yarn, and 10 years ago there was hardly any of it, and it was a real incentive for me to start doing it.
And it's not, like a lot of the superwash is very soft and a lot of the non-superwash is not, but your yarn is so soft.
I do prioritize soft a lot, yes, and I get so obsessed with all the different bases and fleeces, and I especially love them with some silk in them, and especially also with the linen or hemp in them as well.
So the one I'm getting is the same one I bought before, which is the Shoreline Sport that has the merino, the silk, and the linen. I'm going to make the brown and purple together, and I think it's going to be gorgeous.
It's going to be beautiful.
So which is your favorite?
My favorites really are the Shoreline and then the Sand Dune, which is the fingering version that has silk and hemp in it, and at a slightly smaller percentage, is 20% instead of 25% for each. But it's also lovely and so light for the summer. I just love that you get the good structure and it doesn't hurt your hands while you're knitting it because it does have the wool in it, so it's still got some stretch in it.
So is this a lighter weight, you think, than this
It's
one?
a little bit lighter weight than that one,
So
yes.
it's a better summer fabric.
It is an even better summer fabric, yes.
So I highly recommend this yarn. It's one of my favorites, and that's why it's the only yarn booth I brought you to today.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This was lovely.
Now I'm with Gloria. Gloria, where are you from?
I'm from Golden, Colorado.
Wow. So what's your favorite thing about knitting?
It just makes the whole world go away. My husband says I could be knitting, and if the house starts burning or falling down, I'd be sitting there knitting. So,
or you'd be grabbing all your yarn.
It's therapy for me. I went through breast cancer, and knitting just helped me so much. It's a meditation and therapy. I love it.
I'm here with
Peggy Richards-Patty. I live in Laguna Niguel, California.
So have you been to Flock before?
This is my 3rd time.
Wow. So what do you like best about Flock?
Just getting away from the world and hanging with people that love all the same things that I love.
So apparently I'm not just interviewing a fellow knitter, I'm also interviewing a designer. So tell me about your design.
This is Knit and Explore Knits. She's here. She's also one of my favorites. And this is 2 strands of Surrey held double, and it's a saddle shoulder. So it's called the Solstice saddle.
The Solstice saddle. What's the gauge?
So it's a very loose gauge. I don't remember, but it's on the US 8 needles.
Okay.
And so it's like, maybe it's 5.5 stitches per inch, like 21 stitches per inch. And you get like some cables and some seed stitch. You get some all over texture, and it's a very fast and fun knit. That's the feedback I've gotten from my testers, is that it's fast and it's fun, and it's very lightweight, so you don't have to use as much yarn, which means it's like a lower cost of investment. And then it's very soft and fluffy, and so it just kind of overall type thing. And it has a short sleeve, long sleeve option, cropped full length.
And that's on Ravelry.
It will be on Ravelry when it releases in a couple weeks.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
So how long have you been knitting?
About 25 years.
What made you start knitting?
I'd always wanted to knit, but my mother couldn't teach me because it wasn't a boy thing to do. So I learned on YouTube.
25 years ago you learned on YouTube?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what's happening? People are putting their stash together, and look at this cool stash.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Rebecca.
And where are you from?
I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, but I live here in Seattle.
Okay. So have you been to Flock before?
This is my first year.
So what did you buy today that you're happiest about?
I bought a sweater quantities worth of this green yarn, and I'm gonna hold it with like the brighter green to make this one. to make like a like just a plain stockinette basic, because I've made a lot of really complicated sweaters and I want to make something chill that I can pair with everything. I learned when I was 6, but I started doing it seriously when I was like 20, during COVID, obviously, and I started knitting like during my Zoom classes in college.
So are you a solitary knitter or a social knitter?
Usually solitary, but I often bring things to like a knit club or like a knit night or things like that, but mostly solitary.
And so what about knitting do you love?
I think like I'm gonna be knitting no matter the product. Basically, like I do it as a fidget kind of, and so I would do it in my Zoom classes, and I would like, if I didn't have anything to work on, I would just cast something on and just make a square, and then at the end of the class I would undo it all because it was just to have something to do with my hands. And so it's really about the process for me, and then the process of fidgeting is that I get a really cool product, which is really fun.
Hi, I hope you loved our flock adventure. If you did, please subscribe, please like and comment. Tell me if you've been to Flock, what things you liked, and what things you're looking forward to at your next Fiber Festival. Have a great day.